Oh no, you cannot see my face. This is a disaster. Many of you may remember I played Conquerors Blade quite a while ago. I did a video a few weeks back on some of the Siege gameplay, and my, was it impressive. This was a massive battle game where you can control loads of troops on the battlefield with other players and command your armies to victory, whether it's in sieges or in big open maps. This video is sponsored. Thank you very much to Mine.com for sponsoring this Conquerors Blade video. So this is talking a bit about the early stages of the game. The game is still in development. This is not the final product, so keep that in mind. I'll be doing a set of sponsored videos in the future, but this first one is a basic introduction to the game and what you can expect. Then further videos I'll go more into the details of each stage of gameplay. But what is Conquerors Blade? Well, Conquerors Blade is the ultimate warrior and general experience in playing games. Me playing it, I've had so much fun doing it, and it takes some inspiration from games such as Tiger Knight, Empire War, Mountain Blade, and that sort of style. So if you're into those types of games, this is definitely probably going to be something that you might want to get your hands on or look at. Currently, it is in closed beta at the moment, which is the gameplay you can see on screen, the pre-development gameplay. But it will be going into an open gates weekend from the 15th to the 17th, where players can get their hands on this game, and it is free to play. But if you want to know more about this, just check out the roadmaps. There'll be a link in the description to all the roadmaps that you can look at. So we've had the siege test, the closed beta testing, the closed beta house testing, which is where the houses would come and do massive wars, and of course the final closed beta test, which is what we're in at the moment. And then finally, we're going to go into the open beta testing, the early access, and finally the open beta. So if you want to get your hands on that, make sure you go and check out Conquerors Blade. There'll be a link in the description, and you can go and check out this game. But let's talk a little bit about the game. In Conquerors Blade, there are multicultural medieval characters, for example, warlords, that will be available for the player to use. These will all have their own sets and skills that each player can use to their advantage or disadvantage if they don't quite know how to do it. Maybe one's more adverse to quick skirmish type gameplay, or another one is better at tank gameplay, or even faster on horseback gameplay. These are all different things that you're going to have a work around. Choose the character, the warlord, that best fits you, and not only develop your character skills, but also the way you play in order to not only make you better as a player and playing with your warlord, but also to accompany your team as well. Because of course, this is not a one-man army game. As you as commander, you command sets of troops. Now, whether it's swordsmen or spearmen or archers or cavalry, that is your choice. Of course, you can upgrade them and get different troops, and even on the battlefield, you can change troops halfway through. You can bring in reinforcements and bring in more troops to help you, but of course, you'll be sacrificing the troops you've just used. But maybe this can be useful. Let's say you're guarding a wall, and there's infantry coming up, and you're hacking and slashing them down with swordsmen. But you're called by your allies that there's cavalry charging through the gates. What are you going to do? Swordsmen might be quite vulnerable to this, especially if they're the lower or weaker tiered units. So you can go and get reinforcements and change those swordsmen to spearmen, setting up formations and shield walls. And my god, as you can see from the gameplay, the shield walls, the formations that you can do are so awesome. You can get them in different formations for each troops. They all have their own unique skills and abilities, the troops that you can control. Not only can you put them in these formations, but you can also use these formations to move backwards, forwards, or just hold a position. Then you can get them to charge, pushing through, sometimes pushing through with their shields or spears, and this is a great way for breaking the enemy's front lines. But you as the player play as the warlord, and you can command these troops and these armies, but you'll have to hire them and upgrade them, and throughout your game, this is what you're going to have to be doing. No matter your play style, it's always the forefront of your mind that you're going to want to be upgrading your troops. So getting experience, getting those battles in is a good way to do this, and finally, when you get stronger troops, you'll be able to mow through the enemy, and all that hard work will have paid off, training your troops up. But you don't just fight with the armies. There's so much more you can do. For example, there's siege weapons. When you're defending a massive castle, you'll have things like cannons and ballistas and things that you're able to use to fight the enemy, and they can be quite powerful. And yes, it is quite arcadey, but I think that works perfectly for this playstyle and for this game. And many people might not like arcadey games, but I think this has the perfect mix between history and making a good game as well. There's some really cool advanced battle systems available in the game. Things like not only PvP, but of course PvE, including massive sieges and point capture modes and 1v1 duels. These are all things that you're going to be able to play, and they're all going to help you gain experience to upgrade not only you, the warlord, but your armies as well. And if each player in your team and house, which we'll get onto a bit later, does this, you can become a very powerful and feared faction. But what is the main focus of the game? Yes, it's all well and good having these armies and warlords that you can upgrade and experience, but you need a target. You need something to go to keep people playing. And this is where it comes in, the scale of this game. Now, the main vague sort of target is to dominate the world, but how can you do that on your own? Well, this is where the house and guild systems comes in. There's a big map with different castles, and you're going to have to go and siege them. Maybe another house owns this castle, and you can go in and attack them. To do that, you and your house need to build relations with neighboring houses. You can either battle with them and take over their lands, or make alliances and grow your influence together. Whether you choose to have an alliance or make an enemy can be the making or breaking of your house/guild. Maybe it's your first insight to go and attack an enemy, but you might want to just take a step back and think about it more strategically. Maybe if you make allies with them, they'll come in handy later, and they might actually help you destroy maybe a more powerful faction that you couldn't normally destroy on your own. Or if you decide that these guys aren't someone you want to be friends with, attacking them might be your only option, but watch out, because it could come back to bite you later. There's a big open world in this game, which I think is just an incredible way of doing it. Think about Mount and Blade crossed through Total War. This is a massive scale game that you're going to be able to play with so many different players as well. The open world enables you to build. You can also mine resources, and of course, like I said, attack other players' castles and buildings. Here you can even take out their lands, or even damage their economy. Or you can use their economy and trade resources within their lands once you've taken it over. You can do so many things in this game, and it has so much to offer. This was a quick introduction into Conquerors Blade, but I really hope you guys see from the gameplay in the background and from what I've been talking about that this game could be something absolutely incredible. Thank you once again for this sponsored video. I really hope you enjoyed watching. Make sure you watch this channel for the next in the series of these sponsored videos on Conquerors Blade, where I'm going to go more in depth and show you a lot more about this game. But thank you for watching, and until then, I will see you in the next one.